Hey everyone, it's Amanda in Houston. This is my week 2 follow-up. I notice he does get a little excited when there's other horses in the arena. There's some other people riding at the other end, so I try to make sure I keep him calm and collected. I have learned so far that I love his new jog. He will put his nose down and collect real nicely and just scoot along like a nice little Western pleasure pony, which is really exciting. When I first got him, his trot was super big and bouncy, and I had to post it because I would flop around like a fish if I didn't. So here we are finishing our nice collected circles at a trot. And our whoa still leaves some to be considered. I try to sit back and put my legs forward and barely even touch his face. I actually put my hands forward and say whoa and sit really deep, and he still flicks his nose out like a little piglet, flicking and rooting his nose. So I've been working on that. But that obviously still needs a lot of work. And of course, I still haven't learned to stay in the frame of my camera, but I'm trying. Every day is a new effort, and 1% more each day. Here we are going to the right at our nice little jog. Our stop here is slightly better. He only tipped his nose out a hair instead of really rooting his nose out. So, 1% better. Our rollbacks, I don't know. I think I get stuck in my head with the technicalities and trying to do it exactly step by step, as Fallon's been explaining in her tutorial videos. He's 12 and he was, already broke when I got him, and so trying to take a couple steps backwards and go back to the basics and fundamentals has been challenging for me and for him, seeing, what he's learned with me and what he's already been taught by his previous owner. I have been in contact with his previous owner, asking her, what she did with him and everything. Our side passes, he goes from right to left a lot better than when we first started them at the beginning of week 2. Going from left to right, here I'm going to step in front of the barrel so you guys can see me a little bit better. Moving from left to right, he's not as fluid. He's a little stiffer. Trying to be light on his face and open up my right hand and right leg so he's got a nice welcoming space to go into. He does it. He's obviously, you can see on his facial expression and his ears, he's not too pleased with it, but he does it. So, I get him to go a couple steps and pat him and tell him he's a good boy, because he is a good boy. Our lope, his previous owners ran him in a tie down, so I've been trying to get him working. Obviously, I'm not using the tie down while I'm working him in this challenge, trying to get him to balance on his own and not lean on that tie down. He feels a little heavy on the forehand, and looking back, watching myself ride, I look like I'm really tense and pushing him and struggling, but feeling it. I'm actually not hardly touching his face. There we are with the nose flick with the stop, but I'm trying not to touch his face too much and really ride him into the bridle and into his collection. His right lead is better than his left. His left lead has gotten a lot smoother now that we've been working on this the past 2.5 weeks. He'll get his moments where he'll tuck his head, and I'll tuck his nose, and he'll be really light and soft, and then we'll get that for a couple strides, and then he gets kind of bracy, and then I kind of bounce a little bit extra in the saddle, which I hate, but trying to sit on my pockets and relax deep into the saddle and move with him and not brace against him has been a little bit of a struggle, definitely to the left. I went out of frame because he scooted sideways and didn't want to pick up his lead, so that was my bad. But he is getting better. I did come from a hunter background many, many years ago when I was in college. I rode hunt seat a lot in jumpers. So, I've got the rigid equitation posture, straight up and heels down and legs underneath you. So I've been learning to relax a little bit more into the Western style. I have been barrel racing for about 10, 12 years now, so not too Englishy left, but he's doing really good, and he's always willing to try what I'm asking. He may not be happy about it, but he'll try, which is his 1% and my 1%. There we are with the nose flick at the stop again, but a little bit better of a rollback, sort of. Like, when I try to do them slow, he does them very awkwardly. When I try to do them fast, he gets really bracy and choppy with his stride and really heavy on his forehand. So I'm always open to any suggestions from you other horse bosses on getting him lighter on his forehand without cranking his head back. Greatly appreciated. He seems to do the rollbacks a little bit better at the trot. I try to be light on his face, because you can see him flicking his nose, and he's about done with me messing with him today. But this is usually what our rides look like going forward. And so I'll do some rollbacks, do some backing, and then I will go to that single barrel right there, and I just do a couple circles around the barrel. Just, tucking his nose to the inside, pushing my inside leg so he's bending around my leg, got my outside leg on him so he's closing that circle. It's also been like in the low 90s all week here, even at 9, 10 o'clock at night. So I'm trying not to work him too hard in the heat and humidity. There, I was telling my friends are waiting just outside of camera range. They're like, "Are you done yet?" They don't want to be on film. They are helpful with being good distractions, making sure he's listening to me and not paying attention to the other horses, which he does pretty good at that. And that's all. Thanks, guys, for watching.